So we've got several questions from viewers about veterans benefits. A viewer from Fargo wants to know about concerns about home health care that for veterans that this viewer is concerned is not available in the Lake of the Woods area. We have another viewer who's concerned about some talk about reducing veterans benefits, doesn't want that to see that happen from Fergus Falls. And another viewer who's concerned about veterans benefits generally and what's likely to happen in this session. Let's start with you.
Well, I used to be on the Veterans Committee, and I was taken off when they put me on intelligence, and I didn't become any more intelligent. But then when I got to be chairman of the Ag Committee, there's a rule in the caucus that you cannot be on any other committee if you're chairman of the Ag Committee. Why we got singled out, I don't know. But this time there were 4 seats left on the Veterans Committee, and I was able to get a waiver to get back on. So I am getting back up to speed on veterans issues. I've been going to meetings and listening to VFW and the Legion and so forth. And we're making progress. I'm not exactly sure on the home health care exactly what that's about. My biggest 2 goals is to get the veterans home in Montevideo and Bemidji built. We've got the money raised. The state came up with their part of it. We just now get the federal government to do theirs, and we get those homes built. The healthcare system in Minnesota, we've got this new mission act that they've put in to allow people to go to their local hospital or clinic, when they're more than 30 minutes away from a facility if they want to. But most people actually want to go to the VA because that is, I would say, the best health care that we have in the United States is in the VA. They do a good job. So are we doing everything we need to do? No, but we've made a lot of progress. I'm not as much of an expert on this as I was 10 years ago, but I was there when Ken Kaiser overhauled the health care system. It was very controversial. He convinced me, we supported him, and that's why the system is so good today. So we're working on it. We're trying to make sure the benefits are not cut. I don't think anybody on the Veterans Committee is talking about cutting benefits that I'm aware of. So I'm going to be there to help.
Yeah, I would say was it Lake of the Woods?
Mm-hmm.
The Lake of the Woods issue, I would call your congressional office.
Yeah, it's my district. So
yeah.
I mean, I'll have to find out. I don't know that the Veterans Administration provides home health care. And I need to find. That's a question I don't even know.
But you can solve it if it's available. So
yeah.
I mean, that's what we do. That's what you do. The other thing is we have the St. Cloud VA. To your point, and we are you once represented it.
They're excellent.
We're very proud of the St. Cloud VA. It's interesting. The VA system, like any other old, established system, can sometimes go through its valleys, right? Which it did a few years ago. There's a lot of great changes that have been made since that time, and I think this is one of those that I talked about at the beginning. This is not a bipartisan. This is a nonpartisan. And Colin, there's no veteran. I don't know where this person's hearing. There's discussion about cutting veterans' benefits.
Nobody's talking about that.
Nobody's talking about cutting veterans' benefits. Nobody.
We're talking about increasing them.
Yeah.
What about there was some talk within the last several years about a veterans program involving choice, giving veterans some opportunity.
Well, that choice program has been phased out and has been replaced by this Mission Act.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that's the connection.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but there were problems with the Choice Act. And the problems, we think, have now been largely eliminated and improved in this Mission Act. And that's in the process of being rolled out now. And there's still questions about it. I had a whole bunch of veterans meetings and people coming in asking questions, and a lot of it is just that people haven't experienced it yet. But I think it's going to be better than what we've had, and we just got to make sure we got enough funding so that we can continue to make it work. Because one of the issues with the Mission Act was when it was done, people were worried it was going to take money away from like the St. Cloud VA and send it to private hospitals. So we can't let that happen. We can't undermine the VA. So we've got to have the money to make this happen.
But everybody agrees on the concept, which is if you like your VA and you have access to your VA, you deserve to have the best treatment your VA can provide. If you are in a place where you don't have easy access or they don't have the services that you need to have the ability to choose a facility that is accessible to you or that provides the care and treatment that you need, and that has to be reimbursed through the same system. I think everybody agrees with that. It's just been a matter of, I think, the old colliding with the new and trying to figure out how it works, not most importantly for the veteran, but make sure the system works as it exists.